Okay, this video is intended to show you what I've done to my battery box. I'm not suggesting that you should do it in any way, shape or form, but it's not a big deal, but I just felt it was needed for my particular box and situation, but I'm not recommending that you do it. You have a look at it and decide for yourself whether you want to do it. Okay, that's a disclaimer. Let's move on. There's potentially a problem arising with the box itself and the battery. If you have a look here on the battery, you can see these lines on the battery itself. If you get it in the right light, some of them are quite deep impressions, and all of those spots where they're deepest, where the foam is compressed, is on a battery, so you can feel the batteries laying in the pack. So there's sort of a pressure point on the cells in those 4 spots in particular, and there's a couple more out around it. That pressure is coming from the base of the battery box here. The reason it's coming from the centre is that the battery box, when it's been made, you can see there it's nice and flat, but when you get to the middle, there's quite a gap of probably 3 mil where the box is bowed up into the middle of the box, and that's part of the reason why we're getting pressure point on the battery. The lid as well, it's got a bow in it. It bows down. So between the two of them, they're putting a fair bit of pressure in the centre of the pack, squeezing it, which is a good thing to hold it there, but I'm concerned that over time these divots that are in the bottom here will only get worse. I mean, I've only ridden this thing, wouldn't have done 100 Ks. There's no way it's done 100 Ks. And I think in time it'll get worse. So what I intend to do is to get rid of these bars on the inside and just have a relatively flat surface on underneath. The bars themselves, they sit up probably 1.5 mil. They're only 1 mil wide. They're pretty sharp things to be holding a battery that really should be probably given a little bit more respect. So I'm intending to use a Dremel. I'll have a crack at it and we'll come back and have a look at it. So I started out using the Dremel. I was pretty excited. I've actually found a use for it, but it didn't last long. It did the job all right, and if you like using your Dremel, that's probably a good thing to use, but for me it sounded too much like going to the dentist. So I tried a couple other things. I used a blade, a Stanley knife blade, but I found the best thing for the job was a sharp chisel, just a wood chisel. So I found that was a clean cut. The chisel just went to the base and it cut it off nice flat with the base of the box. It's probably a little bit quicker than the Dremel as well, but at the same time probably not as safe, so just be careful if you choose to use the chisel. I sharpened the chisel halfway through and it made the job a lot easier. You give it a bit of a sand once you've finished with your chisel. If you sand the base down, it highlights all the spots that you haven't cleaned up properly. The bars that we're removing, they sit up 1.5 mil approximately, but remember you've got a bow in the back of it of up to 3 mil in the middle, so you're still holding the batteries firmly between the lid's bow and the base bow. It's still got a fair grip on the battery. In my situation, I think it's preventative maintenance. I'm happy to do it. Anyway, that's it. Again, only do this if you think it's right for you. Otherwise, just keep on float wheeling. And don't forget to hit the like button or subscribe button too. It helps the videos get out there. Thanks.